Yesterday, we have introduced the use of outline view and use this to build the playlist for iTunes like sidebar. Today, we are going to implement some features into the playlist in the source list outline view. First thing we will do is to add the drag and drop feature to it so that I can drag a playlist and reorder it. Go back to our code. This is what we had yesterday, and right now it is adding two playlists to it. For instance, the playlist is just a new object from the default name. In order to show it more clearly in this demo, I'm going to create two separate playlist objects with different names. So I will change it a little bit here. Say the first playlist is called P1 and the second playlist is called P2. And then substitute this with the new object. To start with drag and drop, it is a three-step process. First step, allow it to drag, so it's a dragging source. Two is define which kind of drag, and the third one is to check whether the drag is whether or not during the drop operation. A drag is literally a mouse down to an object in either the NS view or the NS window, and then move it to somewhere else. The drag operation is successful if it goes through the validation of a drop and are being accepted. Otherwise, it will just cancel and then have the dragged item back to its original position. To start with this, we first need to register our outline view to be able to drag. So I will do it in the view.node method after adding the items and expand the group inside the outline view. I could do this registration through outline view dot register for drag types. There are many drag types, and for instance, we will be copying the text, which is the name of the playlist. We will use the pasteboard to copy. Thus, we will tell the pasteboard we are using a string type. In order to do that, we can use this called NS pasteboard type string as the type we register. In the future, you can do it with many other types as well. As you can see here, like PDF, RTF, fonts, HTML, etc. So I will go back to string. And then we are going to add several methods to it. And those methods are part of the NSOutlineView data source protocol. As you can see, I already have the protocol adding to the class definition. So I'm now going to implement those methods. As mentioned, there are three methods. The first one would tell the outline view be able to serve as a dragging source. The method I will be using is called outline view pasteboard writer for item. The name of the method is not that intuitive, but what it means is if you want to drag, you need to use a pasteboard to do that. And this method, if you return with this with an object conforming to this protocol NS pasteboard writing, that means it is allowing to drag and take that item as the dragging source. For simplicity, we can use the default item called the NS pasteboard item. So I will first instantiate NS pasteboard item object. I will want to check a little bit on which kind of object can be really being the dragging source. For instance, we only want to drag the children, which is the real penis, and not the group. So we will need to have a simple check if let penis equal. So as mentioned, the item passing in will be NS3 loop, and the representer object shall be the penis object. So there are some optional here, and the good thing about using if let is that even you have many optional type within, it will check all the things for you, and you don't need to write several lines of code to check those optional type for the new value one by one. So if this representer object is a penis object, then I will set the pasteboard item with a string. The string here, I will be using the penis dot name, as it should be unique here. So I can use the name as like differentiation between items. And the type here, as we registered before, we'll be using the NS pasteboard type string. Okay, and then return this item. If it is not matching those criteria, I will just return new, meaning that it is not able to become a dragging source. Try running the application. At this point, the same outline view shows up. If I drag from, say, P1, the first penis, you can see it is now draggable. But for the library, as we return new, then it is not draggable. It's just like the selection. Alright, the second method I'm going to implement is the outline view validate job. Again, it's not that intuitive, but basically this method will tell the system what kind of drag I'm using. Say, for example, the common one will be NS drag operation dot move. That means it is moving. Here we can skip the NS drag operation as it can match by itself. We can try running it. A move drag operation would look like this. You can drag between the penis or on the penis, or you could even drag to the outline view itself. As you can see, the boundary will change a little bit. You can drag to the library as well, so it can become a children or maybe it's outside. But even I drag to other places, it won't reflect. I'm just defining what kind of dragging operation. It doesn't mean it is allowing to drop to the particular place. Eventually, what we want to do is say by dragging P1, I'm only able to drag in between playlists or before after playlists. It couldn't go outside library, so it couldn't go to here. So for instance, I want to only show the related operation. Say it won't show to the on playlist, it should only show the between playlist or after playlist. So we can do a simple check here. Define a boolean can drag. The index here is the proposed child index. It means where I'm dragging to. So if the index is bigger or equal to 0, that means it is a position in between the playlists. If the index, or I should say, if I'm dragging on item on top of a playlist, the index will become -1. So by doing this, it won't show the on playlist behavior. I want to add another check, which is using item. The proposed item here means it is well, we can take a look. The proposed parent. I don't want to drag on or outside at the current group, so I need to make sure the parent is not new. So it would always drag within the group, or just in case we have another group, it can go to another group as well. So if it is draggable, it will return the move operation. Otherwise, it will return none. None means it will show nothing, just like we don't have this method and the way it shows before. It will just showing the dragging source, dragging item going around, but it won't show the animation or behavior for on or between items. Let's run the application again. Just like before, I cannot drag the library, but now if I drag P1, it shows in between or before after. It won't go outside, and it won't show on top of the playlist. But it is still not able to change the order yet. Thus, we need to implement the third method to accept the drop. The method we'll be implementing is this accept drop method. So basically, we'll be checking the position, the proposed index, and also see whether it is allowing to drop to it. If it is yes, then we will be moving the load to the proposed location. First, I'm going to get back the dragging paste spot, and I want the name of the item that I'm dragging, so I can just get back the string. It is corresponding to when we set into the paste item. So the data type, again, is the NS paste spot type string. Here we'll define the source node on basically the dragging item. The item here is the parent of the item which the cursor was placed when the mouse button was released. So it is the destination. So basically, we are checking the item of the group. And then if the penis is the representer object, and the name equals to the name of the item we are dragging, then it is the source node. Something is missing. I need to have a for loop for all the child looks. So the item here is the group, and I'm going through each item in the child looks to find the corresponding node I'm moving, and save that as the source node. So here, if I couldn't find the source node, that means it is not accepting the drop. So what will happen is say I have two outline view here, and I drag from one side to the other side. The other side also has NS3 node, but it doesn't have the original node. So I'm saying I'm not allowing to drag from one side to the other side. But if it is within the outline view and it finds the original node, then it is kind of draggable. So finally, I find the place, and the destination I'm going to drag to is having the index here. So now I'm allowing to drag and drop, and I want to reorder the position by really moving the source node to the destination. I can use the way index path to do it. I will set the array here with the index of the destination, and then create index path. Omit passing in the array and length. Finally, use the tree controller to move the node of the source node to the destination. After all this, return true, telling the system we are allowing the drop. Source node here has to add the band sign to unwrap it to an object. Alright, let's try running the application. So now if I drag P1 and to P2, which is a position I'm allowing, it will move the node and accept the drop. I can move it back, but of course I couldn't drag outside, couldn't drag here, etc. That's it for today. Thank you very much.